Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with another recap, movie review, and this movie was brought to me by Amazon Prime. Now this movie been out for a minute now, but I never got around to watch it. So I actually watched it and I was in awe. It was such a great movie, and I like the fact that it was based on a true story. So the movie is called 13 Lives. If y'all have not checked it out, please check it out. You would not be disappointed. Now this movie was a movie that took place in Thailand, and it basically surrounded this. In other countries they call it football, but in America it's called soccer. So this soccer team and their coach, I guess they was having soccer practice, and there was also one of the kids' birthdays, and they was hanging out, talking and stuff like that. And then one of the kids made a joke that he got a SpongeBob cake for his birthday. Ain't nothing wrong with SpongeBob. Ain't nothing wrong with SpongeBob. So they was making fun of him or whatever. So they continued to do with their practice, and I guess their coach decided to take them to this cave. I will put the cave across the screen because I'm not sure of the name of it. But yeah, the popular cave in Thailand took them there to explore the cave or whatever. So I guess while the cave is mad big. So it's like certain parts is like big and then some parts are getting narrow. So they're there exploring the cave or whatever the case may be. And I guess hours passed. By that time, it already started raining hard. Hard rain. Like the raining that would make a flood rain. So that started happening. So hours passed, and all the kids were supposed to show up at, I believe, the boy's child's house because it was his birthday. And the parents showed up and they was like, well, sorry for being late, whatever. And next, they get all these phone calls that the kids didn't show because they're all together. So they was going to, do the party together. So they didn't show. And then come to find out, I think one of the parents get a call, or the cousin, they get a call that they're in the cave. So all the parents decide to go to the cave. Come to find out, it's flooded. Can't get in, can't get out. So now the parents are on edge, and they get in touch with the authorities. The governor comes into town and speaks to the parents. One of, I believe, the lieutenants from the army or whatever, he talks to them and talks to the governor. Was like, listen, or the head person in charge, whatever, or the president talks to him like, listen, you're about to step down. You better make sure you fix this and fix this fast because you only got a few more days left in here and you're not getting released until this is handled. Next, they're bringing in volunteers from around the world there and everything to try to figure out how to get these people out of there. It's 12 children and one adult. Like, the magnitude of how everybody's feeling is on edge. So the days go by, more people start coming in to volunteer. You get a person that knows the caves, but it's like, of course, it's easy to navigate when there's no water, but you're dealing with massive amounts of water that they don't know where the children are. Yeah, it was a lot. So next, two rescue divers, people that are trained to, dive in, I guess, massive amounts of water and tricky situations and dire situations. They come in and come to find out they couldn't get in, but then again, one of the guys told the head Navy SEAL person, like, listen, the governor brought us in, so we have to get into the cave so that we can see what the depth of the situation is. At first, they would let them come in, and then eventually they was like, yeah, you could come in. So they go in, and mind you, it's like from the entrance to where the kids are in the cave was like a good length. So they figured out the kids might be in the biggest part of the cave, which is called something beach. Starts with a P. I will put that across the screen as well because, yeah. So everybody started volunteering. They come to the conclusion that the water is not coming from the ground. It's coming from the top. So there was this local guy. I guess he's from Bangkok, where they are, but he's from doing tours from everywhere. So he's just happens to be in Bangkok at the time. So he comes to lend his assistance, and he tells them, like, listen, the water is not coming from the ground. It's coming from the top. So we need to figure out if there's any sinkholes surrounding the cave, so that the water can, get blocked and, start receding, and it won't be as bad. And they also installed some water pumps so they can let some of the water out, so it won't be as bad as well. Because if too much water, they can drown to death. So they also got in touch with the farmers to help use their land where their crops is, to help dump the water out so that it's not so much water. The farmers agreed. And then you got the Navy SEALs, volunteer rescue divers from around the world. The two main people are Rick and John. They were the ones that was actually able to get farther from the entrance. There was like 4 different parts. So they had the entrance, then they had chamber 1, then they had chamber 3, then they had the T junction, then they had the Piraeus Beach. That's where everybody is located. So the Navy SEAL and the Thailand divers, they was only able to get to the T junction, which is like the entrance to the T junction. That's like 4 hours worth of diving in water. Yeah. So Rick and John were the only 2 that was able to get from the entrance all the way. Okay, yeah. All the way over here to the Piraeus Beach. That's what we're going to call it. That's a total of 7 hours. Mind you, the spaces is like this. So they like narrow, and you got to figure out a way to get through. So what they did was they had a line of rope that they used to measure out the distance and help line, so that when you can't see underwater, but you can definitely feel, so that it helped guide them through the cave. So long story short, Rick and John was able to call a few of their other buddies to come in and help. One of them was a doctor, because so far the time frame, the kids and the coach been stuck in the cave for 10 plus days. No food, no water. So I believe on day 10 is when they started bringing in food and water, because now John and Rick was able to capture them on video to show that they're all safe and sound. Nobody's hurt, nobody's injured. They're just basically hungry and tired. And they've been stuck in a cave for almost 2 weeks. So around day 12, day 12, Rick and John called one of their doctor friends, Harry. So John was assisting on doing a sedative method, so to get them out of the cave, because either way look at it, they was not going to make it out there alive, basically, because all that water, they would have drowned. And kids, they get squirmy. They don't know how to stay still, that they can cause an injury, so they can hit their head on a rock and be dead. Sorry. So they did a test run. One of the Navy SEALs, the head person, the captain, he tried to deliver some wetsuits to the kids, but doing so, his oxygen tank got tangled up into the cords. And when he finally got it free and checked, he only had a little bit of oxygen left. And next you know, his tank went out and, he died. So they saw that it's difficult, and after hearing that news and sadly to put him to rest, Harry, the doctor, he decided to help them out with the procedure. So he had this medicine, and he basically had them train how to give each child the medicine so that way they can stay calm and make it out of the cave. So basically have them like packages. Packages don't move, right? So that would have been like perfect opportunity to, do that. So long story short, the procedure worked. Every kid made it out alive, as well as the coach. Only sad part is that Navy SEAL, he lost his life trying to help. So long story short, it was really worth watching. The hardest part was the parents watching them on edge day after day and all that rain, thinking about their children, whether they're going to make it out alive. And without Rick and John's smart thinking and suggestions, and with the help of the Dr. Harry, the mission was successful. Everybody made it to the hospital, safe and sound. All the volunteers that helped with the process was commended, and it was just a joyous occasion to see that you don't have to be of the same skin color to want to help. Like, people was from all over the world that helped with the rescue of the 13 lives. And like I said, this is based on a true story. So if y'all want to check it out, y'all can Google the cave in Thailand about the 13 lives that were saved during this massive flood. And also during the rain had stopped, right? And then the last day of getting the last few people out, it started raining all over again. So after everybody was rescued safe and sound, that next rainstorm came and basically flooded that cave for 8 months. So had they not thought to move as quickly and fast as possible, they probably would have died, because also the oxygen level inside that cave was starting to decrease. Like, yeah, more so as if they was in a confined space with no ventilation that was going on inside that cave. Yeah, I'm so glad that, everybody came out safe and unharmed. They got a couple of nicks and bruises on them, but I'm sad to say that Navy SEAL lost his life, but it was all to help save the boys, and I'm actually kind of glad I watched that movie, because stuff like this, they don't really show you, and it's actually nice to see that people around the world are going through the same stuff you're going through. Just because you're in a different part of the world does not mean you're not going through the same things. Like, that was definitely a great movie. I definitely recommend watching it while you got the time. It's on Amazon Prime. It's called 13 Lives. Please check it out. You would not be disappointed. And I hope you guys enjoyed this recap movie review. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.